A sada mi je zadovoljstvo pozvati predsjednika Centrističke demokratske internacionale, gospodina Andreasa Pastranu Arango, da nam se kratko obrati. Izvolite.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of the Croatian Democratic Union Party. First of all, I express gratitude to Prime Minister Plenković for granting me the honor of addressing this assembly at a crucial moment for the future of the Croatian people and for a democratic system which soon face elections that will define the direction that this nation will take in the future. The Center Democrat International, which I am honored to serve as president, with the invaluable support of my good friend Prime Minister Andrej Plenković as vice president, brings together 106 center-right parties from all continents. We are dedicated to defending democratic institutions, the rule of law and human rights wherever these valuable principles, which are the guarantee of freedom, are violated or threatened. I come from Colombia, a country that, like all of Latin America since it became independent, after a bloody war of independence fought in the first decades of the 19th century against the powerful Spanish army, has fought tirelessly, has suffered seeking a respected place among democratic nations. In the last decades of the 20th century and throughout this century, our democracy has suffered the onslaught of guerrillas financed, trained or armed by foreign powers to try to impose totalitarian regimes, communist-inspired dictatorship, regimes that today make up or are at the service of criminal drug trafficking cartels. But we have resisted, and despite the difficulties, Colombia remains a democracy governed by the rule of law, free, independent, and sovereign. We Colombians love and admire the brave Croatian people who throughout their ancient and rich history have given so many demonstrations of love for freedom and for the right to defend their cultural values, their traditions, and their autonomy. As upright Democrats, we applaud the impressive results that the last generations of citizens of this country have achieved in Croatia under the brilliant and fruitful guidance of the Croatian Democratic Union. It is definitively alignment alongside the great European democracies, its affiliation to the European Union and NATO, its modern and solid economy, its position as one of the most attractive tourist destinations in the world are for us a reason for admiration and an example that we must follow. We, the Latin American and European partners in the Central Democratic International, share important challenges with you. Dear friends of the Croatian Democratic Union Party, we face 4 common threats. First, the aspiration of left-wing populism to invade our societies, attack individual liberties, threaten the rule of law and economic stability. Second, massive migration which tests the stability of a free society. 3, attempts to create a new world order and shift the balance of power. And 4, drug trafficking and terrorism networks. Sterile populism has ruined economies of countries such as rich as Argentina, now with one of the highest inflation rates. The hope is President Milei, with his drastic policy of reducing public spending and believing in the private sector again. It has destroyed democracy in Venezuela, with one of the largest oil and gas reserves, turning into an exporter of misery, with millions of unfortunate Venezuelans arriving mainly in Colombia, but also in Panama, Ecuador, Peru, and Chile. No country was prepared for this avalanche of immigrants. It has destabilized Ecuador and Peru, creating chaos and anarchy in them. And now it has put Colombian institutions in check with government that hates private capital, that does not respect the division of powers, that proclaims its intention to destroy the oil industry for the sake of an illusory environmental policy, which is taking us to ruin with more than 300,000 hectares of coca cultivation. And this without talking about the misfortune of Cuba or Nicaragua, countries enslaved by cruel tyrants who have plunged them into the misery of the most abominable tyrannies. Like many Latin American countries, Europe faces massive migration that is transforming our society and the challenge of protecting human rights while maintaining social cohesion and national security. We must fight intolerant fundamental attitudes and growing anti-Semitism and protect our society from internal conflicts that spill over into our countries. Russia has recently transferred immigrants to the Finnish border to destabilize this NATO member state. Thus, Moscow uses migration as a weapon of hybrid warfare. We must counter an attempt of Russia and its partners to change the balance of power and put pressure on our people. We face an unholy new alliance of Russia, Iran, and other autocratic regimes like Venezuela. It is very important not only for Europe but for the whole world that the European states firmly support Ukraine. Cyber attacks and infiltration of social networks demand our vigilance. The brutal increase in drug trafficking that finance terrorism, money laundering, and international crime already constitutes a very high risk for our internal security. I have come then to this wonderful land to tell you as President of the CDI, on behalf of the parties we represent, that we are absolutely in solidarity with you, that we support the historic management that the Croatian Democratic Union has done. That we support the historic management that the Croatian Democratic Union has done, is doing, and will continue to do for the good of this country and for Europe. That we believe that Europe, as the great Spanish thinker José Ortega y Gasset anticipated a century ago, must continue to be like a swarm, composed of many birds that fly together in the same direction. That the democratic stability of Europe is vital for the world peace, and that Croatia must continue to fly in that swarm always and always hand in hand with this great party. Sorry, Prime Minister, I'll be a little bit out of protocol. In Colombia, we want Croatia to win the World Cup. And Modric is an idol for the Colombian children. And I also want to greet with affection and respect this nation on behalf of the organization that I represent and on my own. And I wish my friend, Prime Minister Andrej Plenković, good luck. May victory crown his efforts, and may the Croatian Democratic Union continue to guide the destinies of this great nation for many years. That, Mr. Prime Minister, is what all Democrats in the world sincerely desire. Thank you very much.